Welcome to the Nick and Kristen in the podcast. We've got another segment called If I Were You, This Is What I Would Do, coming up later with Kristen.
Thanks.
But first, I was up late last night, and I was watching HBO, and growing up, I loved Jean-Claude Van Damme. Like, I was into all the martial arts movies and things like that, and the Universal Soldier was on last night. And I watched it because I was like, oh, I used to like this movie. Why not watch it and see how it goes? But then I started to realize that the premise is odd.
The plots are not quite what they should be.
And then I started looking into all the other movies I watched as a kid, and I was like, these are weird. Like, the movies in the 90s were weird. So I came up, I want to go into what Universal Soldier is about because you haven't seen it.
No, I don't know anything about this.
In a new segment I'm calling Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's weird. First, actually, you know what? Give me what you think Universal Soldier's about. Let me hear your ideas. What do you think it's about?
Well, I think I'm taking it too literally. There's a man that's been programmed by some government, some evil government. We're going to go with Russia because it's the 80s or 90s or whatever. And he's meant to be an assassin. But then other countries can hack into his program and he can work for them.
Interesting.
So he's like, he works for no one. It's whoever is in charge of him at the moment. And then finally he realizes he's being programmed. He wakes up and starts fighting the men that tried to like put the chip in him or tried to control him.
You're not as far off. You're not as far off as you think you are.
Okay, good.
So Universal Soldier. So there were two soldiers that were killed, actually multiple soldiers that were killed in action in the Vietnam War. And they were brought back to life in a top secret military experiment that creates superhuman warriors.
Okay.
So Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren are old rivals from the Vietnam War. They were together there, but Dolph Lundgren was like a real piece of POS, and Van Damme was like this really nice guy.
But they're both like American.
But they're both
story?
American. Yep.
Okay.
And they were thankfully, that's a whole different thing. But they were killed in battle and then frozen and thawed out decades later, had their memory wiped, turned into super soldiers that can't be killed. So they're shot.
Oh, they can't be killed.
No, they can't be killed. They're already dead. So Jean-Claude starts to remember, and then he escapes and goes on the run from all the other soldiers and now Dolph Lundgren starts to remember, and he's in mid, like, full-on breakdown of, like, PTSD, which wasn't a thing in the 90s. Which was, but they didn't.
Yes,
we
didn't know what it was.
The bad guy gets the memory back. He starts killing everyone and collecting their ears and hangs them on his necklace. And they end up fighting. Obviously, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it was just like, what the hell is happening in this movie?
But I mean, all these kinds of movies are ridiculous because this has elements of Captain America and all kinds of superhero Marvel stuff. If you break down any of those movies, it's ridiculous.
It's true, but it's like they just put those movies out. Like, this was the 90s and 80s. They were just like, this is what we're gonna do, and they put it out. And everyone just kind of went and saw it because I had Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Right, because of the action sequences.
Yeah, and so all the fighting and stuff, like, I don't know how these soldiers learned to do the split kicks like he did, but you know what I mean?
That's what made them the best in the Vietnam War.
It's true. But like I'm watching it and it's like we don't have those fun movies anymore. They just go and they don't make any damn sense. And you don't really look.
They don't make any
deep.
Damn sense.
They don't make any damn sense.
Well, he's a little older now.
And you don't any Van Damme sense.
Yeah.
And you don't look too deep into things, or if we look.
Excuse me, are you not going to drag me to go see the new Spider-Man? Are you not going to drag me to go see the new Supergirl?
But those
you're
are
acting
like
these
constantly being like scrutinized for not being real enough.
I know, but like you're acting like those movies are full of depth. And like for some of them they are.
The Spider-Man one is like super deep. Like
the
go into Spider-Man, bring in some tissues.
Spider-Man gets me every time with Tom Holland.
That guy.
That kid
can emote like a son of a gun.
He is Peter Parker. Like I haven't seen him in any other movie, but I'm like, dang, you're a good actor. I buy everything that's happening to you, and I think you think you're a spider, and I believe it. But if you break down any premise like that, it's silly.
Of superhero movies. But like,
yes, but this is essentially what this was before the superhero craze.
No one knew about this. Like, they were just like, here's a movie about a soldier that gets killed in Vietnam and come back to life and starts killing people.
I know, but we
didn't
have...
Oh, okay, I'll go watch that.
But back then, superhero movies were ridiculous. And so they weren't being made. But people still crave action movies. And action movies notoriously have ridiculous plots.
I know,
Do you really think
because of the 80s and 90s
Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible is really wearing a skin mask that allows him retinal action into a thing, and then he pulls it off and like it comes clean off?
Maybe.
Like, does anyone buy that? Nobody buys it. It's just fun.
But that's at least like he's a regular guy with super spy tech. Like we all imagine Texas. Like this is very much like, oh, we're reanimating the dead now and putting them to work for the government, which we all kind of believe.
I know. Like, I mean, I think it's funny that you're questioning this now because movies like this have existed since the beginning of time. Like you can say this about absolutely anything.
Can you like name one from the 60s that you're just like, oh, well, that didn't make no damn sense. No Van Damme sense.
Well, I mean, like, so, I mean, if you want to go like to like any Kubrick film, like if you want to pull out 2001 Space Odyssey, like back then, did you really think it was scary to think about a computer coming to life in the middle of space and then controlling the whole dang thing? But I mean, it's a fun story.
That's
like
a good point,
it's not rooted in any reality. It was just made up. So, I mean, that's the same thing with this one. It's okay, they're reanimating the dead and having them fight, but like it's just as plausible as a computer taking over.
Okay.
I don't know. That's how I feel.
That's fine. Well, this has been Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's weird. Hi-ya! Don't worry. Another one tomorrow.
Okay, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Like I watched all his movies. Like I was
know.
a Van Damme fan and like him and Chuck Norris,
Yes.
Steven Seagal, like that was the era of karate and I was knee deep in it. So like I can't wait to talk about all these movies that I haven't seen in forever.
Good.
All right, our next segment, our next version of If I Were You, this is what I would do.
Not saying this is what you should do because I'm not you, but if I were you, this is what I'd do.
So it's a new therapy segment with Kristen saying that what she would do or what she would say to someone that presented this issue. And just a reminder, this is not advice if you're going through this. Kristen's a marriage and family therapist, but she is not your therapist.
Right.
So dear Kristen, my husband of 13 years has grown a mustache that triggers my childhood trauma.
Aww.
For the whole time we've been married, he's been clean shaven, but recently decided to try growing a mustache.
Yeah.
One problem is that I find it extremely unattractive on
Yeah.
him. The other part is that it reminds me of a predator that lived in my neighborhood when I was 12 to 13 years old who would expose
Oh
himself
my
to
God,
me.
this is horrible.
Seeing him like this makes me have no desire to be close to him or kiss him or anything. He says he enjoys exploring the freedom of experimenting with his look, and I should instead deal with the trauma that's causing this reaction.
Okay.
How do we get past this?
Okay, so he's not wrong. You definitely should if I was
If I were
giving
you.
if I was you.
Yeah.
I would definitely explore that trauma in a therapy session. Like there's lots of great trauma therapies now. You can definitely work with that. But in the meantime, I think the issue that you're kind of presenting is the fact that you are exposing that something very traumatic happened to you and that your partner knows about that and that they're purposely not honoring your wishes. And I think that that's the part where as a marriage and family therapist, I would look at that and go, why would you want to trigger some traumatic memory from your partner's past? There are so many ways to explore your look. Okay, you could be funny hat guy. You could be monocle guy. You could be always wearing a scarf, even though it's summer guy. You could be a cowboy boots with jeans guy. Like there's so many things you could do, but this is the thing that you're hanging your mustache hat on.
Well, maybe his dream was to always grow a mustache and he never had a chance to do it. Like, why should he now suppress his dream? Because she's triggered by it. He didn't know she was going to get triggered by it.
Right.
And she didn't get triggered until he grew it.
Sure. And she has now expressed, hey, this is very upsetting for me. And it's rooted in something very real and very traumatic that happened to me. And the fact that he's like, deal with it. I'm mustache guy now. That makes me go, why are we not meeting each other at least halfway? Can you have a flavor saver? Can you have a Van Dyke?
Yeah.
Can you grow something else? Can you grow the mustache out so it's long and curly and you look like the Monopoly man?
Yeah.
There's other things that you do, but the fact that you're going, nope, this is the hill I'm going to stick on makes me wonder if you truly understand your partner.
Yes, but like you said, he's not wrong in that she should.
He's
deal
not
with the
wrong
trauma.
in the sense that she should work with somebody through it.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to see a mustache on the street and be triggered. There is therapy for that. You shouldn't have to live your life like that.
Can we make a deal then that once she goes to therapy and deals with that trauma, then I can grow a mustache.
Well, now we're talking about exposure therapy. And that's
Okay.
something that we absolutely could do. If his one desire in life is to grow a mustache.
All I ever wanted to do in life before I die was grow a mustache.
I mean, good Lord. We can talk about big dreams later. But like, if that's the thing, then she can deal with her trauma. And when she feels like she's under control, he can start growing it in. And if she's able to handle that and she's not triggered by that, then they can go forward. But if she's, once again, triggered by that, shave the damn thing off, man.
Not saying this is what you should do because I'm not you. But if I were you, this is what I'd do.
All right, jumping right into something else. How about some Hold My Beer? This story is crazy. And another reason why we're never going to go to Mount Everest. So guides at Mount Everest have been poisoning people to scam them out of money.
I've heard this.
So if you go, do you know about this?
Yes, I do.
All right, so if you go to Mount Everest and you want to climb it, you need a guide most of the time.
Sherpa.
A Sherpa, yeah. There's a group of guides that were poisoning their guests by putting baking soda in their food, which triggers severe gastrointestinal distress, and it looks a lot like altitude sickness.
Yes.
So you'd get on the mountain and then not feel so good. And their recommendation immediately was to have you helicoptered off the mountain to a hospital. But they had a deal with the helicopter companies and the hospitals. So they would send the helicopter to get you, which is insanely expensive, obviously.
Yes.
They would take you to the hospital where they would give you insanely fake treatments that were expensive and then bill you for it and split the money. It was a $20 million scheme. I cannot believe they're now investigating it, obviously, and then eventually the hospitals will probably have to pay this money back.
I have several thoughts on it.
Yeah, well, I know how you feel about people going to Mount Everest. Yeah.
I hate people that go to Everest. Okay, I'm going to get that out there right off the bat. And I also want to point out that everything that was done is so unethical. It's so wrong.
Yeah.
People should be held accountable.
Yes.
That said, like the Sherpas are treated awful. Almost
I can
inhumane.
I can see that.
And there are people paying $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 to climb Everest. For the people not watching the video, I'm air quoting climb Everest because what they do is they hand all their gear to their Sherpa and they make them do all the work.
And you're just following a trail.
And you're following a trail that they're setting out for you, okay?
Yeah.
They're taking care of everything. All you have to do is just kind of fall in line, all right? They're doing everything. And they're extremely exploited by their government because it's a big industry, tourism to Everest, but the Sherpas aren't seeing any of that. So I can imagine how difficult it must be risking your darn life every day dragging up the equipment of some tech guy from Silicon Valley who wants to tell his friends he climbed Everest, knowing that you've got a family you cannot feed, even though every day you're making this terrible, terrible trek. That said, you should not be poisoning people and working in cahoots with the helicopter companies and all of that. That's awful. I don't agree to that.
Yes.
But there should be something done to make sure that the people that are truly sacrificing their life, which is these guides, are getting the equivalent of some of this money.
It's a hell of a scam, though.
It's a hell of a scam.
Well done.
Well engineered.
Well done.
I mean,
like everybody's
thought
on board.
out and on so many levels.
Yeah, and like these guys have money because they paid $80,000 to get on the mountain. So
right.
It's like
you only climb Everest if you're rich.
Yeah.
And it's funny because somebody asked the question, I think it was on the internet a while ago, like that. Would it be interesting, a nice social study, if we could say, climb Everest all you want. The only rule is you have to sign a form saying you can't tell anybody about it afterwards. Would you still do it?
Yeah.
Would you still do it and if you couldn't brag to everybody that you know about climbing Everest?
I mean, would we do anything ever if I couldn't tell everybody?
I
think I want a bowl of 300 for me? Like, I want a bowl of 300 so I can tell everybody I bowled a 300.
Like, I think climbing Everest sounds so exciting, but if you couldn't tell anybody about it, does it take a little of that flavor out?
Something to look back on your life
to think about.
And see, do you really want to do this? If you couldn't tell anybody about it, would you still do it?
Well, and I mean, this is a whole different podcast episode, but it's the same thing that I'm feeling being unemployed and being in the throes of consumerism.
Yeah.
Like all my life, I've wanted a Louis Vuitton. Why? Because it's what rich people have. Not because I love the purse or it's the greatest quality of something. It's because of the brand. It's because of what I think it says about me. And it's the same thing about Everest. It's like, you think you're cool because you climbed Everest, but the tides are turning. A lot of people look at this now and go, you paid $80,000 to endanger a Himalayan person to just say that you climbed Everest. Like, that's not cool anymore. It's not an accomplishment.
Yeah, well, it's something to think about your Louis Vuitton then. Like, if
100%.
If you couldn't take it outside,
100%.
Do you still want it?
And I absolutely have been debating that with myself of like, if nobody knew I had it.
Not that we're getting a Louis Vuitton.
No, God, no. I'm unemployed. Even when I had money, I didn't get one.
Yeah.
But like, it's very much like, if it wasn't a status symbol, if it meant if I could buy a Louis Vuitton at TJ Maxx, would it be as exciting to me? And it absolutely wouldn't be. It's about what it represents to me. Yeah. And I've created that along with society's created that.
I know, yeah.
And we've created this symbol. Would anyone drive a Lamborghini if they were $25,000? No. You drive a Lamborghini because it's $250,000 and you want everybody to know about it.
Super fast. But yeah.
But even if it was super fast, if it was cheaper than a Kia, would it be as exciting?
It's true. No,
it wouldn't be.
I don't know.
So it's interesting.
All right. Think about that. We like to make you think here on the Nick and Kristen podcast. So make sure you like and subscribe. Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.